Hello, wild people. It's been a long day on the trail, either biking, hiking, or backpacking, and your muscles are rebelling against your decision to take up outdoor activity in the first place. Well, if you'd like to turn your aches into ahs, stay with us, because Flash has got some stretching exercises that might just help you cool down and sleep better at night. And be sure to stay with us until the end, because I've got a couple of pictures I'd like to share with you of some visitors that came to see us the other day.
Hi, I'm Flash. I'd like to share the routine that I did every night on the PCT. Usually I do some cooling down and stretching with breathing, and then some things that would help me sleep better at night. So this routine kind of evolved over a period of 3 months or so. It's just stretches that did really well for me, and so your stretches may be a lot different. And so the last about 5 minutes of hiking, I would start to slow down so I could cool down a little bit before we got to the campsite. And once we got to the campsite and I got my pack off and I got my cell phone mattress laid out, then I start with my stretching routine. So you want to make sure that you have a doctor's clearance and that you have a lot of body awareness and you know the limitations of your stretching. So I'm just going to start with some deep breathing with my arms coming up in the air. Inhale, arms come up. Stretch way up, maybe come back a little bit. Exhale, arms down. Just to get the breathing going and some little stretches that feel good. Inhale up. And exhale down. All right, so I'm going to take my shoes off, socks off. This would happen really fast when I got to my campsite, and feet are really important. I always try to look for a patch of snow or a stream or a lake to soak my feet in and to get them aired out. Stretching is really important for your body because it helps your circulation, it helps your range of movement so that hiking's not so hard on your joints. It helps get rid of lactic acid and get rid of soreness so that you can get a better night's sleep, so you can better recuperate and feel better the next day. It's really important to incorporate your breathing with your stretching because that really helps you to relax and helps with your circulation and to get your energy running through your body. So I'm going to show you what I do for my slow static stretches with my incorporated breathing. So I'm going to inhale, arms up, stretching up, maybe coming back. Exhale, coming down into a forward fold. And so this is to show you how long I stay in my stretches, usually at least 30 seconds, probably longer for at least 5 breaths. And on the inhales, you want to expand a little, straighten your spine, open up. And on the exhale, you want to relax down into your stretch. And really relax your whole body. And think about the awareness within your body. Don't think of how you look on the outside. Just think about the inside of your body and how it feels. It's good to have a lot of body awareness and a sense of where your body is and how it's feeling. So I'm going to, on the inhales, I'm going to come up a little, halfway up, straightening my spine, opening up. Exhale, coming back down. And really be conscious of how your body's feeling during the stretch. Not pushing it too far. Inhale, opening up. Exhale. Just really letting go. Let everything go. Inhale. And exhale. Coming to the top of my mat. Bringing one foot back into a high lunge. And just rocking a little bit here. And here in the inhale, I'm just going to switch over to intense pose. Coming down for a hamstring stretch on the exhale. Inhale, switching to lunge. Exhale, relaxing into the stretch. Inhale, changing to hamstring stretch. Exhale, relax in the pose. And keep going. And remember doing each of these for at least 5 breaths or 30 seconds. And then I might come down to a low lunge doing the same thing. Inhale, lengthening your spine, opening up. Exhale, coming down more into the stretch, relaxing your body. Really looking inside of yourself, see how you're doing, how it feels. Inhale and exhale for at least 5 breaths. Maybe coming into half splits again for the hamstring. Inhale, open up, exhale down into the stretch. For at least 5 breaths. All right, so we're going to go to the other leg into a high lunge. Same thing. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, relax into the pose. We're doing that at least 5 times. Maybe incorporating the intense pose along with it. And then from there, coming into a low lunge again. Inhale and exhale. And one thing you could do, I didn't do on the other side, if you want to have more of a hamstring stretch and you have more flexibility and you have further to go, you can lift your foot, grab your foot, and then you get more of a stretch here. So when I'm thinking about, I'm inhaling into the parts of the body that are going to be stretched, I just visualize that the inhale is going into those parts, and as I exhale, I relax into it. Okay, and then maybe into a hamstring stretch. In half splits again, inhale and exhale. Okay, so at least 30 seconds, 5 reps of that. Okay, and then I'm going to come into a plank. And then knees down, coming down into either an upward dog, or if that's too hard, just a cobra. Open up the chest, open up the stomach, and you can take a little break and inhale, and then exhale into the stretch. Try to relax. And from there, spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes, hips into the air into a downward dog. So downward dog is a really important stretch. It gets many parts of your body. I'll start with just heel toeing it or walking my dog to get the calf muscles right here. And you could do it as slow or fast as you'd like. Keep breathing. And then maybe up on your toes and down. Get the toes a little bit. And then wag your tail, working on the hips. And then maybe just in downward dog itself for a nice stretch with the breathing. So as you inhale, come out of it a little bit, lengthen your spine. Maybe come up on your toes, and as you exhale into downward dog. All right, so then I'm going to walk up to the front of my mat, and I'm going to slowly Start bending my knees little by little, and might have to come this way. Spread my feet a little further apart, coming down to squat. Slowly into squat because it's a pretty intense stretch. And here I might come out of it a little for the inhale. Exhale. Melt down. Really relax everything. If you think about relaxing your throat, tongue, and brow, then that really helps to relax your body and your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. For about 5 times. All right. So then I'm going to come up. I'm going to get more of the top of my body. I'm going to inhale up one more time. Exhale down. And get the shoulders a little bit. So I'm going to bring one arm across. Hook it up. Hope this doesn't get my mic. Hold it for at least 5 breaths again. And then after that, bring that arm up down the back for 5 breaths. The other side, across the chest, and then down the back. And maybe interlacing behind your fingers behind your back and opening up. And then one of my favorite to get the side body is the inhale up, go side, inhale up, exhale, side. All right. Whew. Okay, so for me, that pretty much got all the important muscles around the shoulders and around the hips. So coming down, one thing you might want to do is come down into an intense toe stretch. That will help your feet, the soles of your feet, and maybe help prevent plantar fasciitis down there. And so we'll do that. All right. And so if yoga is not your thing and you want to stretch a different way, it's another thing which I call tree stretching or tree yoga, is to use a tree and you can get some stretches in that way. I'm sure you're familiar with all these stretches to get the quads on the front and then maybe to get the hamstrings coming this way, and then pushing the tree away for the whole back of the leg, and maybe bending your knee more for a calf stretch, and then pulling on the tree back and forth. It helps get your back and shoulders, maybe coming into a squat from there, or even just a catcher's pose. So it's really important to get around those movable joints like the shoulders and the hips, because if you have any restraint in the movement there, then that's going to cause a lot of strain on the joints that are not so movable above and below those joints. So you want to try to have a pretty good movement in those joints. Unless you're hypermobile, then you've got lots of movement or too much movement in the joints, you may be wanting to work on more, instead of stretching, strengthening around the joints. So, and I always say that you should strengthen your muscles as much as you stretch them. But of course, when you're hiking all day, you're doing a lot of strengthening of the muscles. So after that, after I've done a lot of static, long stretches with breathing, then I'll come down to my mat, and hopefully I've been able to soak my feet in water. Let me move this a little. And I may just lay down until I cool off a little more. And just because I don't want to sit up for a long time yet, because my muscles around my hips might tighten up. Or I can go on my stomach into Sphinx pose on elbows and stay here for a while, and that just helps to keep those muscles open and stretched and not tighten up around the hips. And then maybe right away or maybe later, if I still feel a lot of soreness in my muscles, I might go through the joint warm-up that I usually do in the morning. You can watch my morning warm-up tape to see that, my morning warm-up video to see that. And what I do is I just move all my joints from my toes to my neck on the mat. You could also do that standing up. And then to help me get to sleep better, I might do types of breathing. I do alternate nostril breathing, where you breathe, where you exhale, then inhale through one nostril, and then you plug that nostril up and you go to the other side and you exhale and inhale through the other nostril, going back and forth for a few minutes, and that usually helps balance your body out, help you relax. Another type of breathing would be belly breathing, which helps your parasympathetic nervous system to take over so that you can relax. You just, as you inhale, your belly comes out, and as you exhale, your belly comes in. You could try 3-part breathing, where you inhale into your stomach, your ribs, collarbone, and then the opposite on the exhale. You can do bee breathing, which is kind of funny, where you just plug your ears and you hum on the exhales. Kind of a strange one. Your neighbors might think you're a little strange if you do that one. There's box breathing. And if you extend your exhale, sometimes twice as much as your inhale, that can help your body relax. Also, some poses that you could do before you go to bed to help you. Forward folds are good for relaxing, forward fold. So you could go into child's pose with your knees apart, and then maybe putting your hands or your head down on the mat and relaxing here with some deep breathing. And then another one that I like to do is legs up the wall, or legs up the tent, or legs up the tree. And hold that for a few minutes with deep breathing. And happy baby would be another good pose. Or just a forward fold, seated forward fold. So it took me a while to figure out what worked best for me on the trail to help stretch out and not be so sore while I slept, and the next day hiking, next morning getting up. And it was just kind of trial and error. And this is kind of what I came to, but you might be different. Something else might be, better for you, or some of this that I've done might not work for you. But I think the important thing is that you stretch and cool down in some way in the evening, even if it's just for a few minutes. Definitely help you get better sleep and feel better the next day. If you'd like to see my other stretching videos, then you could go to the description, and I'll put some links in there to the other stretching videos I've done. I've done one for my morning warm-up and one for stretching that I do during the day. And I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks, Flash. Be sure to join us next time, because Flash and I are going to compare and contrast our 2 different training styles that we're using to get ready for our PCT adventure this summer. Our intent is to complete the sections we missed last year. As promised, I've got pictures of the first trumpeter swans that came to visit us on April 15th. It's always a joy to see them return. It marks the ending of winter and the beginning of spring, and the trumpeter swans always seem to bring hope and renewal and a sense of rejuvenation to the area. So, until we meet again, live wildly, my friends.